I tried to get it cut this morning. She was shut. It's getting totally out of hand.
All right, okay, we're live.
Oh, thumbs up. That means we're live. Welcome along to Bangkok ChitChat, and it's a first for us because we're going live. Well, you've done live before with ClipCube Media, you know. But this is the first time we're doing it. Why are we doing it? Well, as a test and to see how it's done for us. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No, I think we're just going to
It's like a rabbit in the headlights.
I'm fine.
All right. Anyway, if you've stumbled upon us because we haven't actually marketed, you know, to the extent that we should to get people aware that we're doing it. So you probably just stumbled upon it and oh, hi. But you can get it on replay. You can get it on replay. So there's a replay. Yeah. So you can watch it as you probably are if it's on replay 10 hours from now.
But it was absolutely awful. We're just going to delete it.
Oh, there's always that. And from the way it started, that could be the case. Right, so we're going to, the reason why we want to do it is that we can give sort of instant news out as it happens, instead of like 3 or 4 days production or something like that.
Yeah, just chat about particular things, just casually. And I actually get your comments.
So hands up, what's the first topic?
We're going to talk about, well, obviously we'll get the COVID part out of the way.
Yeah, we've got the stations, the Hua Lamphong train station and the Bang Sue Grand station that has just opened. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's mainly good,
So let's just start on what's happening in today's Bangkok Post. Basically, we saw that there's 10,019 new COVID cases and 143, they say, more deaths. But when you think about it, a week ago we're at over 14,000.
Oh yeah, it's definitely come down because it was 14,000 for days and days.
This is per day, by the way. This is not total. Yeah.
But what I don't understand is on the deaths. Okay, what's on the death certificate? Can they say he died of COVID-19?
No idea.
That's the first thing. We'll look it up later.
I'm not a doctor.
But you know my point. No, I would say they don't. It's from another symptom like pneumonia.
Like AIDS. You die of AIDS, but you don't die of AIDS. You die of pneumonia. It's something which comes on afterwards.
So the naysayers would say, how do you know they are deaths related to COVID-19?
Probably from the symptoms, and they'll do the test. And do they have that virus?
So if you had pneumonia anyway, but you caught COVID and you died, they would say if you hadn't had COVID, you may have not died with pneumonia?
Absolutely no idea, but with pneumonia you can survive. Yeah. The big thing the big thing I look at now is this long COVID. And what it is for about 6 months to a year, once you've had COVID, you still have symptoms. You're lethargic. You're feeling. Sick.
Our goalkeeper, Man United, had it.
It wasn't very long, was it?
No, one of our goalkeepers got COVID in the summer.
Wait a minute. Is this you making excuses for Man United?
No, we're playing very well, bro. We're really? Top of the league, so don't go down that way.
Because you've got Ronaldo. You've got this Italian sort of...
Viva, Ronaldo, viva. No, but the fact is that that's the first time I heard the term long COVID.
Right.
He'd gone through that 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and he's still suffering from it. So.
Well, because they say it goes on up to a year, but you don't know what other effects you're going to get from it. But this is the thing, the after effects of actually not having COVID anymore, but having symptoms. Yeah. So when you get this, when they say long COVID, it's basically long-term after effects. Yeah.
Okay, big question on everybody's lips that live here, and probably on lips of people that want to come here, is when is Thailand opening? And well, there's a conversation right there. It was the 1st of October, and now it's not. And now the 15th.
Yes.
And now it's not?
I don't know. This is we should discuss this anyway, because they're talking about November 1st. Now.
Oh, it's November the 1st now.
Right. This is what they're looking at. Yeah. It's like everything else. It's never announced until the day before. But I'm more concerned about even the people here. The fact is that the local tourism is going to support or keep alive tourism initially anyway. I mean, you've got a few thousand, 30, 40,000 people arriving in Phuket, have arrived in Phuket, and now they're expanding.
Foreign tourists.
Foreign tourists, and the reality is it's not just up to Thailand, it's the UK. I mean, I know people that want to go back to the UK, and I was thinking of going back to the UK to see my mum.
Yeah.
But
so what's the procedure then? If you can leave Thailand to go to the UK?
Yes, you can, but you're going to have to go into an appointed ASQ or
ASQ,
hotel, and it's cost you about £2.5 grand.
Same as here,
about
then.
UK pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot of money.
For how many days?
And then when you come back, you'll probably have to go into quarantine again. So you're talking about a month, effectively, of quarantine.
Yeah. I was talking to Chuck. If you're listening, he's probably on replay because he's in the States. Hello, Chuck. He was saying that he's got family in the north, in Isan.
Yeah.
And he said that he will come over as long as the ASQ is like down to, say, 7 days, because that doesn't take a big chunk out of your holiday time, right? And I said, how long are you planning staying? He said, well, 6-7 weeks. So if you're staying for a long time, 1 week is like, right. I'll write that off. But if you only, what happens if people only want to spend 14 days in Thailand? Cannot, right?
No, so
not practical.
So basically, my point is that they should be opening up a lot of the services. Yeah. Now that they're aiming at 70% coverage of people to be, I think it's only about 40% in Bangkok just now, I'm not sure, or in Thailand as a whole. But once you get 70%, they're talking about this, mass, herd immunity.
Herd immunity.
So, yeah, God, we're a lot of cattle. We're a lot of cattle.
That's how I remember it.
So we're herd. Yeah. I got herd.
Herd, yeah, we got loads of herds of cows down where I come from, along with the scrumpy apples. Yeah.
So when they're looking at that as a reason, but I think they're just going to open up things, whether it's pubs.
Well, that's mainly food and beverage is going to open, right?
And maybe they do this. If you're double vaccinated, you get in, or do something.
But it's domestic.
For domestic, but also as a tourist, imagine we're coming to Thailand, great, let's go out for dinner.
Oh, yeah,
what would you like? A glass of water?
Yeah. Or beer in a coffee mug, if you're lucky.
There's got to be a process, and let people know that this is what we are thinking about.
So
opening, yeah.
I know a lot of people watching from overseas, I guess, but their big question is, when can we just waltz into Thailand and things will be back to like they were?
I think it comes down, just like UK, that when you get to this 70%, I mean, UK is up to 80% in some areas. It's the kids that are now being vaccinated. Yeah. So I would say I don't think the whole country will open up, or it's worthwhile opening up till January, February. But I think they should be opening up domestically, November 1st. And if people know the risk and they're aware of it, they're not going to go to these places, or they're not going to mix with people that they think are going to be...
And wearing masks, I guess.
I think they should keep the mask thing in place. Forever? Absolutely.
Till when?
Till...
Because there's always a new flu coming out, a new not variety.
Listen, it's going to become a fashion. It already is partly
Well,
a
it
fashion.
is. Have you seen all the ones with the skull and crossbones and the teeth with the cigarette hanging out? Have you seen those? They're like 3D ones. And you just put it on there. It's like an old man walking down the street with a cigarette.
Hey, so you don't wear a mask then, no?
I got one on now. Back just to the chat. If you just tuned in, by the way, it's Bangkok ChitChat. We're live. And you can watch this, obviously, on replay later. But anyway, hello to Chris Roberts. He was the first one on, so he has to win some sort of, medal. First time we go live, and he's there. Highland. Oh, you have a pie.
As a side joke. Yeah.
Okay, so this COVID thing, I keep getting asked, though, about when will things... And I assume when they say opening, I thought they were opening more borders, not internally, but like airports and that, but... You still have to go through ASQ, right? Although the ASQ now are reporting that their numbers are lower in occupancy, meaning there's no tourists coming at all now, or what?
Well, I think it's because from their homeland and the fact that the how long they've got to spend when they go back home, not just when they arrive in Thailand.
Yeah.
So that's thing that puts people off. Yeah? And then they've got to book the hotels, and then you've got this regulation, that regulation, and then the hassle of going to get the certificate to get it. And they go geez, just go to Spain. Yeah.
This guy I mentioned before, Chuck, he was saying the paperwork he had to do. I said, we've interviewed people. Remember that girl we did from the Thai lady from the States to here? All the paperwork, but she got here. It hadn't changed. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. And I said 3 times out of his hotel room in 10 days or 12 days. And I said 3 times out of his hotel room in 10 days or 12 days. And that was it. He said he was allowed to go to the rooftop for exercise because he paid a little bit more money for his room.
Okay.
Money talks, bro.
Yeah, doesn't it just? Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Back to the chat. Olaf Arnold. Hello. I don't know where you're from, Olaf, but thanks for tuning in. Must have found us by accident, but there you go. Olaf, are you living here? Let us know in the chat, or where you're from, because we wanted to work out the time zones as well for when we go live next.
Yeah.
What is better for people, as long as it's good for me. I ain't doing one at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, let's get rid of this COVID.
Oh, let's COVID. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Next topic. What is the next topic? Oh yeah, Hua Lamphong. Now, if you've come to Thailand as a tourist, you've travelled and caught the train, you've probably went to Hua Lamphong train station, which is near Chinatown, which is, for me, it's an oldie worldy station, and when you're there, you know you're in a station in Thailand.
Yeah.
Built when, and go on.
All right. So basically, it was the building started in 1910. And then it was finished on the 25th of June in 1916. And it was designed around the Frankfurt Main, I can't even pronounce this, Hoop-da-Bohob-Hof.
What?
Yeah,
I told you to leave that name out.
All right, so, it was designed by a guy from Turin, called Mario Tamagno. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what's happening is Bangsu is going to be the main thoroughfare, for passenger trains, and I think they're looking at still using Hua Lamphong for some, but it's going to be more. Tourist routes.
Yeah, my cue. I've got it on email here somewhere. Hang on. All right. Yes, I mean there's another bigger question that I want to address in a minute, but all right, here we go.
Basically, what should they do with it? Yeah.
Well, it's the Transport Ministry is conducting a study to develop Hua Lamphong railway station and its adjoining areas for commercial purposes. The ministry said it has a policy to develop the Bang Sue Grand Station, the new one, the new guy on the block, into Thailand's rail system hub, which they say you'll be able to even go to Malaysia and stuff like from there. It'll be the Grand Station. Yeah. Listen to what I'm saying. Get off the computer. Anyway, so progression. Or is it culture loss? And this is my argument, and we can actually go further and not even talk about stations. The Hua Lamphong station is old and probably less efficient compared to the brand new Bang Sue Grand Station, which is comparable to any large one in any major city around the world. But when you're in Hua Lamphong, we were there, we did a show from there. Right? If you're on holiday and you're not like a businessman trying to get from A to B quickly, you sit there and you absorb the atmosphere.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you go
it's
to
a beautiful
the
building.
And you're going to get a picture later on with the new one, the Grand Station. It looks from the outside at night a bit like Suvarnabhumi Airport because they've got all the blue, the in-color lighting, and I'm sure it's efficient, and I'm sure it's lovely. And I'm sure if you're in there, you could be anywhere in any station around the world, to be honest. They may have a bit of Thai tapestries on the wall or something, but. So, where's the line between tradition and progression? And that's where I want to make this little discussion.
All right. So I think with Bang Sue, it's got to be it's a functional station. You go there to get somewhere. Yeah. Just like with the airport. But for Hua Lamphong, I think they should, because it's easy to get to by underground as well. You just cross the road. Yeah. It's dangerous enough, I suppose. They'll be talking about an extension in there, but basically you just cross the road and you're in there. It's such a beautiful building. Why not use it like a form of transport museum, a place where you can go for
Well, I think that's what they were suggesting in the early days.
Classic.
Yeah.
And if you've got someone like that trip going up to Kanchanaburi,
take the old train in the old carriages.
Because you're going along where, the railway and everything goes up and you're seeing what's happening along the railway. That's part of the
and keep the old carriages. They don't have to spend money on new ones.
Well, they should spend some money on that.
Well, no, you've got to get into the spirit of how it was like to When was it built?
See these chairs, yeah. See
what
the
chairs?
Seats in the.
Oh yeah.
On the train, they've got the old wooden ones. My God, your bum's numb.
Third class. I went on those. Third class from Laxi to Hua Lamphong to where was it? UTM. 20 baht. return.
Unless you want the sort of realistic old style, and live the old Thai
And
way.
give some Thai.
And you can sit in the wooden seat.
And
but if you don't, you can go in a nice, comfortable seat. You can get something nice, food on a train, because it's about 4 or 5 hours train journey, isn't it?
From where? To Kanchanaburi?
Yeah.
I don't know, it takes about 3 hours by road.
Right, so it's between 3 and 4.
Yeah,
It's certainly slower by car.
When was Hua
By
Lamphong
train.
built?
It was built in 1916. Finished. It was finished.
Can you imagine what it was like in the days of steam?
Don't know. Tell me.
Because it's all enclosed, like any other station. But no, I mean, I love, to me, train
You ever been in a
stations.
steam train?
Oh, of course, I've been on the Golden Arrow when it was steam. I was only 6 years old, from
So that was
Dover
actually-
to
I was
Calais.
actually winding up there, so it was actually.
Well, of course I was. Yeah, I had
before my
it was the
time.
Golden Arrow, and on a bend, my uncle, who used to work for the railway, said, "Look out the window now, Andrew," and because it was a curve, I could see the engine pulling, and it was full on. The one with the big gauge in the front and the steam, and yeah.
Oh, so all right.
So you see people off at these stations, you can't see them because there's all this steam and
I've
smoke.
never been in a steam engine.
Well, you're not much younger than I am. What are you trying to
quite a
portray?
bit younger
here?
than you,
No, you're
excuse
trying
me.
to portray this all the time.
No, I've never been in one. Yeah, but I've seen them. Yeah, but they're stationary, like a museum.
Well,
and all sorts of
I've
stuff.
only been on one commercially, and I was 7 years old.
Right. Okay.
And it was the Golden Arrow, which is a very famous train. That,
Very famous. I've never heard of it.
Never heard of the Golden Arrow. You see, these
Was it
youngsters.
the Flying Scotsman is the one I remember.
Of course. I wonder why.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And you used to have the flags on in the front, and it's great steam. Anyway, let's move on. So this progression or tradition is what I wanted to debate just for a couple of minutes. And I'm sure maybe if you can leave in the comments below, or you can get on the live chat now. By the way, Chuck says hello.
Hi, chap.
I said we'd get around. He's live. My goodness me. What time is it there, bro? And also, Ollie is here as well. So I'd like to say hello to Ollie. What were we doing? You see, we've got to learn how to do this, how to multitask.
All right,
I'm hopeless at
there's
multitasking.
I think there's a distinction between Bangsu and Hua Lamphong because what
okay.
they are.
Let's take another comparison then. Don Mueang Airport, like it was when it was full on the main airport, to Suvarnabhumi. Which one's better?
Suvarnabhumi.
Yeah, I agree. And
But
I feel
they're different. I mean,
well, yeah, but they're different because Don Mueang was
Different
like
location.
old, yeah, but it was completely different in the sense it was old.
So you can get to Suvarnabhumi by
Through my God, oh, sorry.
through the underground. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you can't get to Don Mueang yet. But that's going to be opening up within.
Well,
the next
you
6
can
months.
now. It's there.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, it goes right past my house to Don Mueang.
All right, so you can get the SkyTrain there.
You have noticed the one at the end of your soy now, have you?
Yeah, I know, but it's not open. Yeah.
It's open to Laxi. No, it goes on about 4 more stations. It goes to Don Mueang, yeah, for sure.
All right, so you can now travel. I either go in my motorbike or I go in my car.
I just don't travel. Go on. Yeah, you can go through. My neighbour keeps telling me, because he's always using them to go here, there and everywhere.
Great.
You can go 3 or 4 stations past Laxi.
Right.
And that's at the by.
All right, so now they're basically equal. You can get easily accessible. But
Oh, yeah.
before getting to Don Mueang was still a pain.
Yeah, but throw a spanner in the works. In the old days, and I'm talking about 5 years ago, not the old days, 5 years ago, no, 2 years ago, you could never get to Chinatown on mass transit. There was no trains.
Yeah.
We did the opening line there, right?
That's right, yeah.
So now you can actually go as you would go to any other railway station in Thailand through the BTS or MRT or whatever it is. So Hua Lamphong, they are saying they're going to keep open because of the area and where it
Yeah,
goes.
it's like a
And I'm up for
gateway
that.
to the old town.
Yeah.
It's like a gateway to the old town.
Yeah.
So basically, you would go there. Maybe you can have some lunch there because we ate
Yeah.
the not the stores. It was sort of
Right,
a
by the
shop house
roundabout.
place. Yeah, and it was lovely. I mean, that little bit of extra.
Yeah, look at some of our
extra
videos.
cubes in your
Yeah,
soup. It was
yes.
just great.
Look at some of our past videos. They're all up there. That was the MRT one, the opening of the MRT line.
Yeah.
But let's just carry on with tradition, progression. All right, now, I have a lot of people say to me, and they come here on holiday once, twice, 3 times a year, something like that, and they say, Thailand, and I think they're more or less, though, talking about Bangkok, and maybe Pattaya, maybe, has lost its charm. And that always brings me back to the argument, remember Khao San Road? And I thought, because I kept saying this and people go, no, I can't remember that. You were one of them. But I have been told I was correct. Before COVID, they were thinking of taking all the vendors off Khao San Road.
I think they did.
Did they?
Yes.
And the food vendors and that they were going to put in one place. I get why, but can't they see? And everyone loves those stalls. The food, the street food was great. You're walking along, you go for stop, have a beer, or you stop and have some chicken, grilled chicken or whatever, pad thai. And that was the charm of the city. Of Khao San Road. Yeah. Now, some of the plans was going to make it a thoroughfare and make it easy to go and walk.
Like a walking street.
Yeah, like a thing.
Which it
was.
It was.
But I like that without the vendors. No,
right.
no,
So
no.
what they're looking at doing, and part of the reason they did this clear out of street vendors, because I remember. They just won the award. Thailand, Bangkok won the award.
Correct.
For
best street food in Asia.
Yeah,
or
and then
something.
they cleared them all
yeah,
up.
and then the next day, all go.
But the issue was that the collection of rubbish, and also it was totally mismanaged. Yeah, so there was basically the food would be affected. Yeah, because they weren't cleaning, they weren't wearing hats, they weren't doing this. Some people were just. Like everything in Thailand, oops, sorry, I made a mistake, now we'll fix it. Yeah, so they were going through that, and they said, that's enough, yeah? Because there was rats around, because they were taking the food.
For eating?
Yeah, well, that as well, yeah. so they cleared it out, but what they're going to, and I think it's going to be come back, but it's going to be better managed, yeah?
Yeah.
So what they're going to do, I made a mistake, now we'll fix it. Yeah, so they were going through that, and because there was rats around, because they were taking the food.
For eating?
Yeah, well, that as well. Yeah. so they cleared it out, but what they're going to, and I think it's going to be come back, but it's going to be better managed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do in Khao San is they're going to manage that. They're going to open up because they realise that's one of the attractions. Yeah. This is going to be better managed because people just walking in. Blocking the streets.
I love
care.
Yeah, but you see, that's what. Let's check before it zooms past me.
You see, that's probably the attraction.
Well, on the chat, Kenneth Tottenham Hotspur. Hello from Stavanger, and that's Norway. And Ken, I have spoken to him in the past. Nice to see you on here, mate. Thanks. Do you guys think Thailand will be open for tourists without ASQ by June? He's booked his ticket. I know that. By June next year, can Ken come to Thailand without ASQ? What do you think?
I think yes, he will, because he'll be double vaccinated, and he'll probably by that time have 3 or 4 extra boosters. Yeah.
All right.
I think, but it will. I think there is going to be a movement towards some form of passport.
Okay, and Ken, I think you're safe on that as well. But you know, what do we know? The whole idea of this show is trying to give a non-biased, agenda-free take on the news. So this is only what we think.
It also depends on Norway. You know,
well, that's true, Ken.
What's the restriction that you've got?
Yeah. And Chuck has also said here, each airport serves different routes, so you can't really compare. That's true. But I was just comparing Dong Mueang, which was falling down, compared with Suvarnabhumi, much easier.
There is some overlaps though between Suvarnabhumi and Don Mueang. Not all. You can get like Air Asia flying down to Singapore, but you can also fly down to Singapore from Suvarnabhumi.
Yes, you can. And Thai Airways normally, Bangkok Airways doesn't fly from Dong Mueang. It flies from So point taken there, Chuck. And I live right by Dong Mueang, and I know there's no planes taking off from anything. There used to be at least 9 or 10 a day. Now there's 1 if we're lucky.
All right.
So there's no much interprovincial travel by air at the moment.
And that's slowly opening up, because they're talking about getting flights from Singapore and Malaysia direct into Krabi. So now you're talking about shorter haul flights going, because even Pattaya, they're developing that airport to accept more international, like you've got for Phuket, because the eastern seaboard corridor, where they're trying to develop all business and put more in manufacturing, and you get your eastern seaboard visa, pay 10 million baht and squillions of that, and then we'll give you 10 years, Right? All this is happening just now. So they're developing Utapao,
Utapao.
airport as well. Things are really opening. I think there's some.
Well, we're veering away,
different
though.
benefits of COVID.
We're veering away from, and I keep getting told this, Bangkok's not the same. I used to like to walk down. Tourist. I mean, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but they're on holiday. It's not quite the same as it was 20 years ago. Well, I think for Bangkok, if you're living here, the progression is wanted because it helps the people. But for the tourists, I think you have to maybe just go outside of Sukhumvit and Siloms, and if you're thinking of the Bangkok area, in the suburbs, there's still a lot of traditional stuff going on. There's still tuk-tuks and there's still street vendors.
Yeah, I mean, if you go down to Klong Toi Market, for example, you'll see loads of tuk-tuks taking the vegetables and chickens that have just had their heads chopped off and taking them to restaurants.
Yeah, and lots of slum dwellers as well.
Yeah, you see all that. Slums, there's still huge slums here. Yeah. But one thing I've noticed, and we were discussing the other day, it's amazing how many Mercedes and big cars and big trucks are sitting outside the slums. Oh,
well, there's this old thing about, you get the Mercedes driver turn up and will eat a 25-baht bowl of gutiao, bowl of noodles, because that's what they do. And often when you go back to their house doesn't actually fit their car.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless you're super rich, where it does, and they've got 10 more Mercedes parked outside.
That's not to knock that we shouldn't be helping people in the slums.
No. We've got to be careful here. Well, we've got loads of people in the chat, but they're all the same people. So it's all by accident. If you've just tuned in, it's Bangkok ChitChat Live, something that we're trying to progress. And this is not a test because we're doing it, but we want to see whether it's the right time, what sort of people tune in. And so we'll carry on. The purpose being that we can give you news more or less instantly, even if it's on replay. It will be uploaded to YouTube, hopefully today or tomorrow morning. So the news will be, well, it better be. It's your department. And Jet's department.
So what have we told? There's another interesting story.
Yes, Chuck.
Was about this girl from Malaysia who is transgender. And she's in Thailand. She's come to Thailand.
On holiday?
For whatever reason. And it's more escape. Now, under Islamic law, she can't be transvestite.
In Malaysia?
I think she actually went to the temple dressed as a woman, and she's got into trouble for this. Now, Thailand's under pressure, to extradite her.
From Malaysia?
From Thailand to Malaysia.
Yeah, but Malaysia, the one's giving Thailand the pressure.
Yes. So it was about that, and the reason bringing it up is we did a fantastic interview.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
I wasn't allowed.
Bangkok ChitChat did a fantastic interview with a girl who was a transgender, a few months ago, and it was very interesting to see her story. So this is this girl, and I just wanted to discuss it a minute. Should Thailand get involved in this? What do you think? Yeah, she's got a business. She's got.
Yeah, but why was she here? Was she on what visa was she on? That's for a start. I mean, if she's on a proper visa, then why should Thailand relent in sending her back if everything, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed? She's legally in Thailand to do what she wants.
Well,
bloody Malaysia.
She's been charged with immigration-related offences, including illegal entry into Thailand.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Released on bail of about 66,000 baht. Yeah.
Well, she should be shoved off home then.
She was also instructed to report to immigration officials every 2 weeks. No, well, the issue is that if you send her back to Malaysia, she'll be prosecuted under Sharia law.
Which is pretty severe, I would think.
We don't know exactly what that. Well, I don't know exactly what that would entail, because a Sharia court would decide that.
I get it. Yeah,
so should Thailand on the basis should be classed as a refugee? She thinks she's trying to apply for asylum in Thailand? Yeah.
Well, I think the question here is because she's transgender, that clouds the issue because of the morality side of it. But if you take that out of the argument and you say she's a dissident, all right, or he's a dissident and coming here for political asylum, should Thailand send him back or her back? I don't think we'd see where the transgender, because if they're a dissident, they're going to get into trouble when they get back anyway, aren't they?
Well, if they go back, maybe if she feels she can't go back.
No, I'm talking about someone that's not a transgender, but did exactly what he or she did, but they're, say, a dissident, or they belong to some sort of social group that's not accepted in Malaysia or whatever, would the same argument apply, or are you getting your knickers in a twist because she's transgender?
No, I'm not getting my knickers in a twist at all. I think it's up to Thailand under international law as well.
Yeah, but she broke the law by coming here.
Yes, I know, but you could turn around and say, did she break the law on the basis of she was here and she overstayed her visa, or did she come here to escape? Yeah. So you could turn around and say, like, in the UK, there's two examples. Yeah. One where somebody comes across and they've come from Syria or something like that, and they go for political asylum because they'd be in danger. So the UK would accept them. But there's that girl who was part of ISIS, yeah, when she went across to Syria, and she's had her British citizen stripped. Now the argument is that, wait a minute, you have to go for where you're a citizen. You can't be claimed stateless. Yeah. So now this girl is. They say, well, you can get your citizenship through your Bangladesh relationship. Yeah. So there's this big debate. Yeah, saying, well, so they basically cancelled her. Yeah. From having any British citizenship.
Well, have you seen the documentaries between the people from North Korea getting out, which is really difficult, and they're getting to South Korea and everything else? They're accepted with open arms.
Yeah, that's.
But they're running from a regime.
Right.
So that's my.
So it comes down to the country's policy.
It's about the punishment that they will face back in their country if they're sent back.
Yeah.
Not to do with the transgender. That affected the punishment back at home as would a dissident or revolutionary
so are you
or whatever.
prepared to send them back knowing they're going to be in
question. What's the name of the lady concerned? So we could follow the story maybe in future.
Yeah, it's a big headliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry. Nice picture. Is that him? Her?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. I reckon she should stay. Okay.
So her name is, his male name is Mohammed Sajjad Kamaruz Zaman, yeah?
Well, we'll write it on the description.
By authorities of our home is trying to claim political asylum. I'd be interested to see what people's thoughts are.
I wasn't being flippant.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say is, I don't want the focus on her just being a trans. She could be, as I say, a revolutionary, a dissident. Should we send people back from Thailand to face the music in their country because they, in their country, did something wrong?
If it was an illegal act, yeah.
Like a murder or something. Like a murder or something.
Recognised internationally for whatever agreement the country signed up for. Yeah, they'd be following that. That's their excuse. Yeah. Okay. But what I'm saying is it could actually cause political tensions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Between Thailand and
wherever it is.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Come on down.
Come on down.
You've got your pajamas on. All right, so I think we're going to close it now because the idea of this one was to more or less test any technical problems we may have arisen, looking at the chat, working out moderators and things like that. So we plan to do it more and more, and is always available a few hours after the live broadcast, hopefully a few hours news items. That it'll be up, hopefully, maybe the same day.
I have to hold a lot of this.
And there's you going on about, I don't want them to see my microphone now, talk about making it up with a bit of elastoplast. This is the way we roll. No, but, so what I'm saying is hopefully we can get it up the same day or at least tomorrow morning. Yeah, I know. Now you've disgraced yourself. Tomorrow morning you can watch it on replay. So that's it. I'd like to thank Chuck, who says he's finishing off with go to Isan to see real Thailand, and Jeff Constantine, glitching hard. Oh, what is glitching? Is that a technical term? We're glitching hard. Okay, Jeff, we'll look into that. Thanks for your comment, mate. We'll try and rectify that. As I say, it's our first one. We plan to do at least one a week, if not two, maybe three, depending on you guys, whether you want it, and time zones and everything else. So now you're back. No, can they hear you?
I'm micless, yeah.
Oh, you're micless at the moment. Do you want to share mine?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's not, yeah. Okay, it's nice and visible there. Anyway, that's one of the technical things that we'll try and work out. Have you got anything else to close on? No.
I got my clothes on, yeah. Anyway. No, I
We were
don't
going to finish
actually.
off with something humorous, but you did it.
We'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear your comments.
Yeah.
Other than this part with the mic. Yeah.
All right. Jeff says, by the way, no worries, you'll get it. So
Yeah,
thanks, mate. Thanks, yeah. Go on.
Okay, so listen, thanks very much. If there's any particular items you'd like us to discuss,
Yeah.
obviously COVID's the regular one we're totally bored of, but obviously we need to know what's going on. But if there's anything in the news or whatever we can chat about, please let us know.
And you know where you're from, and is the time zone good? We do have the replay thing, which is like, maybe in America it's just completely impossible to watch us, and in England now it's only like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But I think Australia
will
is
be a wake-up call for them.
Australia over. And I'm definitely not going to be doing this at 2 o'clock in the morning. But we'll try and work out a compromise, and we've still got our shows going up anyway.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. If you're new and you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Liking does help as well, and a sharing thing tells other people it is marketing for us. So we'd appreciate that as well. Until the next time, I can't wait to say this. Bangkok ChitChat Live, signing out.
See you later.